Glad to be here with you folks for another Fumes for Friday event, helping you to make it through the week and hopefully into the next one. I'm excited to be the presenter tonight for this Fumes for Friday. And so tonight we're going to talk about dialogue. So as I'm pulling this up, I'll just say that I've spent my, can you all see that, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I've spent my career studying dialogue, my life studying dialogue, really, you know, listening to people, trying to figure out what they mean, what was going to happen next, you know, in my household and with the people around me. And so when I thought about what could we do that would be sort of relevant and fun, I thought this would be a way to kind of start from what I know. So let's talk about dialogue. All right. So I'm gonna go like this so you can see. So the challenge here is, among the details that can create characters or invite interpretation of them, I always think about appearance, dialogue, action, point of view, and then I always want to make a good acronym, like ADAPT. So I always put like third-party reactions or something. You know, when a character walks in and everybody's like, then you know something about the character. But among all of those things, dialogue is really important one because it applies across all different genres. So really characters in fiction, but then of course in drama, you have really nothing but dialogue mostly. And in informational texts, you can have dialogue. You know, you can have quotes from people. In persuasive texts, you can have quotes from people, things that people said. So it's a really important detail of character to focus on. And so the question for tonight is, what can we practice to write and interpret dialogue better and to help students to do that? So to warm up, I'm gonna stop sharing in a minute. I just want to invite you to think about the fact that the words yes and no can be said in many different ways. So let's take the word yes. And I want you to just think about a way that you could say the word yes that would convey something about you, your character, or, you know, a character, a state of mind. For example, you know, I could say, yes, or yes. Okay, so that's like 2 of, you know, 500. So we're just gonna go around and you could take a minute to think of the yes that you would like to share. All right.
Does it have to be direct, or can it be like a version of yes?
Oh, good question. Yep, let's yeah, let's say it can be a version of yes. I like that. I see Mari's got some in the chat. This is great. All right, so Mari, you've got, sure, yeah, How would you voice those if you said it?
And for me is sometimes a filler for confusion. Like I'm hoping that they'll give me more information. A yeah is typical for me, so just yeah, whatever. And a sure is probably not really wanting to say yes, but feeling a little obligated. Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, well, in my Zoom squares, I've got Donna next. You can just say, you can say it, or you don't, there you go. Yeah. Love it. Thank you. Joanna?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Bob, how about you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, yep. Okay, so how about the word no? There are many ways to say the word no. and it can mean all different kinds of things depending on how you say it. So take a minute and think about, how are you going to say no? Is it going to be like, no, or no, or something else? We're going to go in reverse this time. All right, Bob.
Oh, hell
No.
no.
Thank you. Joanna?
Uh-uh.
Donna?
Nope.
Body?
Not a chance.
All right. This is great. So in keeping with this, we're creating some constraint, some awareness here. And so now I'd like you to try writing an entire scene in which you describe as much as you want, but the only words the characters say to each other are yes and no. And you can choose just yes or just no, or you can use both, but you can't use anything else, okay? You can describe as much as you want, but the only words the characters say to each other are yes and no. Okay, let's take 15 minutes on that, and then we'll come back and check in. I'm going to turn off my camera and all that. All right, so you can pause your writing there if you're into this. Feel free to continue after the next piece here. And whenever I do a mini lesson like this, I always expect that people will either take it up and do something with it, or set it aside and work on what they really need to do. That's always the way that I think we should approach many lessons as teachers. So if that's the case for you tonight, that's great. So the next part here is try rewriting the scene that you just wrote using only dialogue. So now the characters can say all they want, and you may use no other description. I'm going to check in 15 minutes. All right. Welcome back. So I'm going to just go to my next slide here, which is an invitation to share. You can read as your first or your second scene or both. You can also talk about, if you prefer not to share, you could talk about what was challenging about writing each one, or what did you realize about writing dialogue as you worked on these two. So I'll just stop the share there and ask if anyone would, or stop the screen share and ask if anyone would like to share what you wrote.
Well, at first it was hard to do the with just the yes and the no, and that was fine. I thought through it, thought, okay, we can do it this way, and then you switched it around, and I thought, oh my gosh, how do I do this? They can talk. But it was fun. I'll read. I'll be glad to.
Thanks,
Just
Donna.
no judgments, please. Molly heaves a tired yes as she opens the front door at the end of a long day. Her husband, Joe, greets her with a cheeseburger in one hand and a lotto ticket in the other. Molly, doubtful at first, looks at Joe's wide grin and says, no. Joe joyfully responds, yes, yes, yes. They dance around the room, jubilantly celebrating their good fortune. Even the dog joins in the perceived excitement over the cheeseburger. Joe, not seeing the dog, falls over him, dropping both the ticket and the burger. No, 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 they scream as the dog devours both the ticket and the burger. The couple sits down on the couch, sighing no in unison. This would happen in my house with 2 dogs.
Fantastic. Wow.
I
That's
really
great.
like that image of him standing there with a cheeseburger and a lottery ticket. That
That-
sounds like
and
a pretty good
It
way to
was
be
so
creative.
unexpectedly wonderful.
Right,
He
yeah.
did. You're right.
And a great range of different yeses and nos there as the scene unfolded. That was really cool. Yeah.
And I
Thank
felt
you.
like a great take on the dog ate my homework.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Donna. Thanks for going first. Would anyone else like to share?
I agree with Don. I found it a little tough at the beginning to get started on the first one. And then, when you get into it, you're like, okay. And then when you switched it, I was like, well, crap, now I don't know how to do that. Just like Donna felt. And then I thought, okay, what's interesting was that not being able to say everything made you realize that when you do say something, it should really be something that flows from all the stuff that's been happening internally anyway. And so it kind of makes you focus on the dialogue being richer and more purposeful so that it's moving the plot forward, which is interesting because sometimes we just kind of write dialogue that fills space. And if it's not moving the story forward, it probably doesn't need to be said. So I thought that was interesting too. So here's my first one. She arrived at the airport with 10 minutes to spare. It was a pre-COVID world, so she parked and walked in to meet him in the terminal. This whole thing was ridiculous. They hadn't seen each other in 25 years. The last time they spoke, she was 17 and he was 19. Yes, they had been talking on the phone and communicating for over 2 months now, but actually seeing each other again was a whole different thing. She couldn't settle her nerves. Her hands shook like clothes on a line in the fall. She had to pull it together. She couldn't let him see her in this state. She had to act cool, breezy, like it was no big deal. Trying to compose herself, she leaned up against a column and faced the exit to the tram. She took deep breaths, but still couldn't collect herself. She decided finally to resort to the one thing that was sure to calm her, the thing that had been calming her for close to 4 decades. She pulled out a book from her purse. She opened Man's Search for Meaning and tried to pick up where she'd left off. She read the line, then read it again and again until she finally was able to lose herself in the words and the images. She didn't notice until he was standing barely a foot away. She looked up. He looked accusingly at the book and grinned. Yeah? She smiled. Yeah. She closed her book and he came in for a hug. She hugged him back. He turned his head into her hair and inhaled deeply. Yeah? He exhaled slowly. Yeah. He took her hand in his as if he'd been doing it forever. She looked at him, eyebrows raised. He smiled sheepishly. Yeah, yeah. She smiled back, having caught him in a feeling. They stood in front of the elevator and waited. The doors opened, and just before they walked in, she squeezed his hand. Yeah? She waited. His anticipation grew. She pulled his hand. They walked into the elevator, and just before the door closed, she finally responded, I guess so. I cheated on the last one.
I was right there. It was wow. Yep.
Yes. I can see the tamper.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what a great airport moment. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, I hate to say that how great of writing it was, where it was a pre-COVID world, and yet you understand so much from a very small number of words.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew, that was great. Yep. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share?
I can go.
Okay.
Okay, you go, and then I'll go.
Okay. So I too And those who know me know I have the tendency to be rather verbose, so limiting words even for a character was hard for me. Linda noticed the help wanted sign in the window, but kept on walking. She used to be one of the clients there before everything fell apart. She had already consigned most of the pricey outfits she had bought there over the years, including the periwinkle and leopard trimmed dress that made her feel like $1,000 whenever she wore it. In fact, she had had it on at the fundraiser when she overheard her boss telling the new hire that he'd be placing her in Linda's job and Linda would be demoted. No way, Linda had thought when she heard Mr. Sharp. It took less than 2 minutes for her to make up her mind. Initially, she whispered yes to herself. And with each step towards Mr. Sharp, each yes got louder, more pronounced, more emphatic. The new hire turned around at the sound of Linda's Christian Louboutin heels on the tile. Linda looked her up and down. Mr. Sharp glanced from Linda to the new hire, not sure what to do. Linda handed her keys to him, palmed his cheek, eyed the new hire, and said with a nod, yeah, and turned on her heel. Sharp's mouth dropped. Those around them watched. No way. And she walked out. So then I didn't know how to turn it, but I gave it a go. Welcome in. I can't read my mess here. Welcome in. Miss Rockton, it's simply been ages since you've been here. Sally, Miss Rockton's here. You should have called ahead. Sally would have prepared your dressing room for you and a variety of outfits. Let me guess, you're going to the museum gala. Of course you are. And of course your periwinkle leopard trim dress would be perfect. But I know you don't like to duplicate outfits. Rachel, slow down. I'm not going to the gala or anywhere fancy for that matter. Rachel, I'm not even going out for dinner. Miss Rockton, what do you mean? I've left all that behind me. That's why you haven't seen me. And in walked the new hire in her periwinkle leopard dress.
Ooh. Very good.
But it's fun to spin it that way.
Let's circle back at the end.
So much like so much in that first scene, like I love that.
Even the phrase, like
Brilliant.
like the phrase that you're expecting is, it made her feel like $1 million, but it wasn't. It made her feel like 1,000. Which stood out for me like really loudly. I don't know why.
Because you want to know whatever happened to your 999,000.
Exactly.
Right.
Got that.
Yep.
I liked his name, Mr. Sharp. It seems like the kind of guy who would talk about. The name went with some guy who'd be, telling people at the party that what he was about to do, but not telling the people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah. Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you.
All right, I can go real quick.
Yeah.
So the first one with yes, I had the same experience as everyone else, where I was like, it was weird to just do the yes no thing. I wasn't sure if we had more flexibility with that, but I tried to stick with the literal. And then I had but when we tried to switch, I also had the same thing. Like your brain was immediately like, can't do that. We have to. It was interesting that everyone had the same experience. So that was just me. But the yes no only one, I just did. Marilyn passed her beloved squirmy ferret to Malcolm so she could go to the bathroom. No, said Malcolm, stuffing his hands deep into his pockets. She yanked his hand from his pocket and stuffed the wiggly creature in his palm. He jerked his hand back. Nope. Marilyn scowled at him, grateful he wasn't a mind reader. Yes, she said. Malcolm stuffed his hand back into his pocket. No, no, no. She looked him dead in the eye, tucked her beloved Rocky under her arm, twisted Malcolm's ring off her finger, and stuffed it into his jeans pocket, then walked away singing to herself the TikTok song, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no." And then for dialogue with description, I did dialogue, no description, sorry. "Here, Malcolm, hold my ferret." "No way," said Malcolm. "Just take him. He doesn't bite. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but he's got teeth for a reason." "Oh my God, your grandpa doesn't have teeth and he bites." Only if you take his Ben and Jerry's ice cream." "Well, Rocky never bites, so hold him so I can go to the bathroom." "What part of no don't you understand?" "What part of yes don't you understand?" "The part where I have to hold that stinky noodle pet of yours." "Fine, forget it. I already have. Bye, Malcolm. Bye to you both."
I love both of those. You get such a like picture of these people from everything about like the way that they talk to each other. It's wonderful.
I like the line about the teeth and the grandfather.
Mm-hmm. The ferret is the silent partner in all this.
I kind of had an uncle like that, a great uncle, so that's where that came from.
Well, so I did this myself, and just now and tonight I was writing about standing in line when I was a teenager, standing in line to buy tickets for an R-rated movie with my friends. Back when, like, you could do that, you know. Back when you could go to the movies. Back when people went to the movies, and we were so afraid that, like, the lady behind the ticket counter was gonna like know that we were not old enough, and so now it was our turn. I was skipping over some stuff. Now it was our turn. I stepped up to the window. I could feel my friends behind me shifting anxiously. The ticket taker fixed me with her steely gaze. "Yes?" "Yes," I said, dropping the bills as casually as I could and holding up 4 fingers. Then I waited, holding my breath. She slowly counted the bills, eyeing me over her glasses. I smiled, willing my fingers to stay still. Finally, with a dubious look, she passed the tickets through to me as casually as I could. I took the yellow stubs and passed one to each of my friends. We looked at each other and exchanged a silent yes. And in dialogue version, it sounds like a bunch of New Jersey teenagers. So, "Mike, stop jumping around. You're making me nervous." "I can't help it. I'm afraid she's going to know." "Shh, what do you mean? Who?" "These people online don't care if we're underage." "Whoa, Phil, announce it to the whole world, why don't you?" "Not these people, Phil, the old lady behind the ticket window." "Oh yeah, we're dead." "Shut up, Andrew. Come on. Mike, the old bat can hardly see through those glasses. Besides, you look like Sweet 17 for sure." "That's what your mom said." "Guys, we're next." Okay, give me the money." Yes. How many?" 4, please." "Here you go." "Enjoy the show." "Thank you." "No way, we did it." "Woohoo, I thought she made me for a second there." "No, you charmed her, Mikey. Come on, let's go get some popcorn." Back when you would get
first
popcorn
off,
too.
I know this is a safe space and all, but what is the statute of limitations on sneaking into the movies? Is it still
Right. Confession. It's recorded.
That's Marty's department.
Yeah. Well, it's 9:28, and so glad to have been here with you tonight and gotten to share a little bit of writing. And I just wanted to say in closing, thanks for writing, thanks for being here. And if you'd like to do a Fumes for Friday lesson, please email or let me know now and we can put you on the schedule. And I will just leave you with that. No pressure.
Oh, thank you. That was fun. That really was. It was
fun.
Relaxing.
Yeah, thank you so
fun.
much. What great scenes tonight. That's going to stay with me all through the week.
Yay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Yes. All righty. Have a good
Sleep
weekend,
well. I
everyone.
hope you continue your scenes in your dreams.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
All right.
No, I want to dream about other things. Are you kidding me?
Mine was going to a good place, but it's just me.
Right on. Right on.
Hey guys.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.